How's it going, guys? Chris back here again with some more Historic Brawl. Today, we are checking out Tishana, Voice of Thunder. Now, it's been a while on the channel since we've actually gotten a commander suggestion, but this is a commander suggestion from the comments. From a commenter known as Edwin Droid 1973, I believe. So thank you first off for the comment. I built the deck pretty standard, so hopefully it's at least interesting. But I used to get more commander suggestions, and I still do on occasion. But for a while we haven't had one. And normally I don't even mention the name of the person who suggested it because I just forget to mention it. But I got Studio on my phone now, so I can actually look that kind of stuff up on the fly. Normally it's a longtime commenter, JC, that provides like, this commander came out recently, it's pretty cool, can you get a video out on this particular commander? I'm always happy to see comments like that because it gives me not necessarily well, it helps me out because generally over the course of a week I build 7 decks, right? And they're all, I don't know, my deck building process is a bit flippant, really. Like, generally the decks I build, either they're new commanders that I'm just interested in trying out, right? Or we're gonna play Jolrael into Earl to draw a card, hopefully find a land. It's not the land I would have wanted to put into play, but I will take it. Normally, they're either like a new commander from a new set, or they're a commander that, for some reason, has sparked my interest. And having comments that suggest commanders, like, that really does help out in sparking an interest in a commander, because generally, if I play a commander and, like, I get trashed, I tend to not really think of it that often, right? Like, the commanders that I always go back to and think about are the ones that ended up having, that I was able to get some results with, right? So it's a good deck building, not really challenge, but it's a good deck building practice to be able to try out commanders that maybe have slipped into the periphery of my memory. Because we have a lot of commanders on Arena these days. We already have our cat for turn. We are in a really good spot. So, if you want to be able to test on a deck yourself, you only really need 2 things. You need creatures, and a way to draw cards off of those creatures. Now, the easiest in my experience is mana dorks, right? You have something that taps for mana, so it's a useful creature in casting your commander, and generally you can get some card draw out of them too. Unfortunately, a lot of the card draw in green, which I think has the more powerful card draw options in the Historic Brawl format, is like rare and mythics, right? Like you have Tribute to the World Tree and Beast Whisperer, and you even have some mythics in there like the Great Hinge. So, like if you were to build like a budget version of the deck, you would need to probably rely more heavily on blue. You could also go with a sub-theme of like elves, because you have a lot of common elves that just enter the battlefield and draw a card. And then you have some blue creatures that will enter the battlefield and draw a card. your creatures are cycling into your hand, like that's pretty good. That's a pretty good place to be at. Well, this could be pretty good. So seek X enchantments. You love to see it. Unfortunately, it doesn't exile itself. Okay. Yeah, so on Arena, Verdant Rejuvenation and March of the Ents, they're both unfortunately prohibitively expensive on the site, or on the platform, but they're both really powerful top end sorceries that you can cast with creatures entering the battlefield from your graveyard. So you cast it, you find a creature that can cast it off of its cast trigger, and then you can cast it again from its graveyard, and that pretty much will always end the game. There are fringe cases where your opponent will be like, that's very cool, untap farewell, and in those particular circumstances it won't feel as good. But Tishana is actually very, very good in a style of deck that's trying to abuse some of the more wacky enchantment or wacky powerful spellslinger type cards that aren't really spellslingery. Like they're really powerful but really expensive. Uh, I might just get outpaced here, unfortunately, because I don't have. Hamza is also really good at making things very cheap, very quick. We made the elf go away. Make the bad elf go away. He is definitely among the bad guys. He's also in our deck, so I can't really say he's too much of a bad guy. We might have to just draw two. Oh well. We can only do this at sorcery speed, so we're just gonna do it. You, sir, are a chump blocker, Baron. Baron's on the deck because he can, hey, that's rude. Had you hope that's a 1/1. It's a little sad, honestly, but where we're at, we might have to search up a land for 5 mana next turn. Elvish Norn, notoriously decent. I need Rift or Rebuke. What? Oh, bad. Why is? Draw me a card, Tatyoga. But technically, this is 1 mana or 5 mana. Search for a land, draw a card. Like that's still not good, but it's passable. GG. Well, that was a rough game. The first game, wildly successful. Hamza into Elvish Norn, less so. If we'd kept our Besage up, we could have killed the Mirari's Wake when it came down, and that would have delayed Elvish Norn by a turn. It would have delayed Elvish Norn by 2 turns, but at that point, they would have played land, and we would have given them a land off of the Besage, so it really would have only been 1 turn of delay, but it still would have kept our Baron alive, so we would have gotten to prime time a turn earlier. So punting away a little bit there. There are definitely I don't know, man. I was thinking about this as I was building or I generally think about things like this as I build decks, where I've been building historic Brawl decks for a while now, and I don't know if I'm getting better at it or if I'm getting worse at it. Uh, one land for the price of. So this ramps our opponent out to 3, but it also means that they don't get a land tax every turn. Land tax in single player can be particularly brutal because they're not putting the lands into play, so they're always going to be one land behind, ideally, which means they basically get to remove a large portion of their deck that isn't useful. I think I'm gonna go with Galadriel's first, because if I draw a land, we can relic. I will intervention if they try to remove my artifacts. The Shin seems like the kind of deck that would I might not have the luxury of time. Shin definitely seems like the kind of deck that would do Shared Animosity. Very scary card. Okay, well, this is fine. I mean, they haven't hit the aggravated assault yet, so we're not too scared of the shared animosity. But if the aggravated assault comes down, we will of course be sad about it. Ouch, ouch. It is still really bad. Yeah, I might have been underplaying it. How do I get out of this, man? We have been keeping hands that have been too greedy, I think. Dragon's Skull Summit? So Stomper's kind of good. Okay. We're not in a great spot. We're probably just dead. For being fair. Yeah, because Impact Tremors deals an insane amount of damage here. GG, we don't need to see the triggers. We know what happens. 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12, which is more than 7. Well, at that point we only really had 10 triggers left, so I guess it wasn't as like brutal of a massacre as it could have been, but it's still pretty bad. Okay, I like this. We open on a tap land. I don't know, like in the current meta of Historic Brawl, one of the problems that I see Tishana facing is that 7 mana is a lot for a commander. And to get max value out of her, you kind of need a board. You need a board to make it happen. And if you're not given a board, you're gonna be sad. Guess I just try to ramp. Maybe our opponent is scared that we'll block their monkey. We're up against Ishin again. Are we up against the same Ishin player? If so, that would be marginally unlucky. Yeah. I think we're gonna get rid of the monkey. We'll just ramp the old-fashioned way. Can't even kill. Can't even kill her. No block. Let's take the damage. Radagast? You can't come down soon enough, buddy. I need you on the ground. Skyclave Relic? Oh, that's bad. Come on down, Radagast. Show me one drop. Okay, a turtle. Take a turtle. I want to see the turtle do something. I threw him in the deck because he's technically an enter the battlefield ramp creature, which is one of the things that the deck really likes, but he's probably a little bit too expensive. And while he does benefit some other land synergies in the deck, he's just not. She didn't grow by 2 every turn. We would actually be able to block her out, but no, she does grow. We die. Thank you, opponent. Let's hope to not roll Ishin again, because he seems particularly well suited for dismantling this type of deck. But I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I always appreciate deck select or commander suggestions, and I really do. But on the flip side, it does feel bad when somebody suggests a commander and I build them, or I build an example deck for them, and it doesn't work. Like that's a bit iffy, you know? That's a bit iffy. We got one more game in us. Game 1 with a good showing. So I'm not counting this as a loss, but at the same time, I'd like to secure one more win. So I think I'm gonna mull this as too slow. Historic Brawl has become a lot faster since I started playing. Like, the hands you used to be able to keep, where you could sit back and play a rock. This is the same hand, Arena. Sure, okay. I guess it's not like one of the lands changed. That's cool. Ashiok sleeves, anime Ashiok sleeves as well. What to say? Still got the wander. Man, what happened to the set trailers? Because they used to be really good. And they haven't been sticking out as much recently as they used to. Like, I think original Eldraine was probably when they peaked. Oh, we can do it during our opponent's instep. Or we can get them if they try to draw a card. They might try to draw a card. Come on, opponent. Show me Sign in Blood. A very good magic card. Costs 2 mana. Draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. An excellent option in the current state of things. Didn't have it. I'm going to play my Goose. Just because my commander's kind of greedy for creatures, and I kind of want some card draw. I will have to attack with her successfully, but it doesn't necessarily have to be hard, right? Saruman Storm is another card that I'm just kind of petting at the moment. I've been putting it in decks to trying out, but it never really hasn't yet paid off for me. Land. Oh, thank you. Kind of needed that. Wandering Time? It's a little early for Wandering Time, but I don't really have anything else to do. I was kind of hoping they'd mill me again because so far Gale will not do much. Gale is definitely a card that needs to be replaced in the deck. When I initially put him in the deck, it was for his ability. Because whenever he enters the battlefield, you can return an instant sorcery from your hand to your graveyard. It's unfortunate that it doesn't really work with our deck's game plan because you have to cast it, and the ideal off of him was to flip into him and get back what we flipped him with. To get back our Greater Aurora or our March of the Ents. He killed my goose. I couldn't have saved it with my boy anyways. Never didn't have it. We're submitting 0 just because the black deck would be the deck that could punish us for animating a tap land because it doesn't really serve a purpose until it can attack, and since it can't, all it would do is draw out removal, which could be rough. I haven't built an instant or sorcery yet, although I don't have that many. Rude. I'm glad I got a good game out of this. Oh, yeah, that didn't help, did it? I guess you mill. No, you don't. That was from additional things. Because he said put him in a graveyard. Put him, not mill. Okay. We might have to rift. Mouth of Saruman. We're actually really rough on mill decks, unfortunately. And the reason for that, yeah, I'll block the 3/4. The mass creature is not really my prerogative. Nyx Bloom Ancient. Rude. Expected, but rude. Can't have nice things. 2 Storm of Sarumans. Yeah. Well, that could screw us over. What did they grab? The one thing that we don't want them to grab is commit. Because commit shuffles your library back into your graveyard, or your graveyard back into your library. We essentially get another library with it. Hmm. Hmm. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I have enough. I think at the end of their turn, I'll return everything. I'm getting a little nervous. My commit has not shown up yet. Quick Study is a cool card. I haven't put it in any of my decks yet, but it really should go in the decks because it's just strictly better version of God, what is that card called? I played with it a lot back in the day. So let's see how much mana we have. Cast a Gale. Will I kill myself if I do this? Maybe. Look at that. I have 50 cards in library again. Our opponent also has a new hand worth of stuff. Oh, did we pull off the Rift? We did. We pulled off Rift. That one. That one. That one. The Rift Wheel. I'm very proud. I've never pulled it off before, and I think this is a good deck to pull it off with, too. Ouch. Do it again. Have you seen this card before, opponent? It's a cool card. I intend to cast it a few times. That's not very exciting. Mm-mm. Is this enough? Maybe. Brawl Convention? Everything is double legendary now. Don't really want to lose my boy. And massive card draw. I don't really want to go any further against the mill deck. I could last March of the Ents again, but it doesn't seem necessary. 7. So the Gales go, you go, and you go. Neat. Oh crap, that's my library. Uh, Well, let's go out on our own terms. Can't believe they milled 33 cards in one turn. To be expected, I suppose. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.